Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. So I was going to talk about some random thing that really started intriguing me the other day, and it was based on the fact that I appreciate when companies go out of their way to do stupid little things that like most people wouldn't think about because I've dealt with things before that didn't. So, for instance, what happened was I was watching Amazon Prime. And at the end of the episode, it gives you the small countdown in the corner, like starting the next episode in, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then, pops into the next episode. And it says starting in, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. And when it goes to 1, it actually changes the word to second as opposed to seconds. And I was like, oh, that's like nice. Like somebody really thought about this when they were implementing this because they, said, not just because I've seen them before where it just says 1 seconds and then it like goes to the next video.
I mean, it's really not worth that programming change. Like the effort to go into that. Like
probably not. But as I was watching this thing, I was like, oh, it's cool, like that they did this. But then I started thinking about it a little bit more, and not from the programming perspective, but I started getting myself confused. So count down for me from 5 to 0, stating that the time denomination afterwards.
Oh, because 0 seconds.
Yeah, there's 0 seconds, and why does 0 go back to being seconds right after 1 second?
I don't know. I tried to think about his logic for a minute, but I don't really know.
Well, and then to get even more complex with it, what if you had 0.5? What is that? What would you say?
Well, I would say half a second.
Okay, but what if you were saying it in 0.5? That's exactly where this got really complex to me.
This is the dumbest.
Oh, absolutely the dumbest. But do it with me for a minute. I mean, it's 0.5 seconds, but half a second.
Zero is plural because it's most definitely not singular. In English language conjugation.
0 is plural because it's most definitely not singular.
Yeah.
Greatest definition ever.
There's more though. I haven't read it all. I'm reading it live. In English language conjugation, there are only 2 singular and plural. What the fuck does that mean? In English language conjugation, there's only 2
singular and plural. Don't you understand? There's 2 singular and plural.
That's the complete sentence too. In English conjugation, comma, there are only 2 dash single and plural. Okay, there's only 2 instances, I guess. There's it's either singular or plural. In this situation, where there are only 2 options, any quantity other than singular is plural. 0 is not singular, therefore it is plural.
So 1 is the only singular number. I mean, I guess that's
1 is the loneliest number you will ever know.
Number. That is such a weird thing, and I wonder, and I don't know how to speak other languages to that degree. I mean, I know a few words in other languages. I'm not trying to say I know other languages, just not to that degree. But I don't. Let's just pretend I don't speak any other languages at all.
Okay.
That I wonder if it's like that in other languages.
I have no idea because I don't speak any. Even the bit of Spanish I took, I don't remember any of it, basically.
God, that's just the strangest thing to me. That
I love this though. This is great.
It's just so weird, and it's just one of those things that I'm 38 years old right now, and I'm like, 1 is the second.
Wait, I'm older than you?
0, I think by a little bit, yeah.
God, older than everybody. When is your birthday? Is that known?
October. It can be known. It might be known. I have no idea.
Does the subreddit ever like say happy birthday to you and put a banner up and all that stuff? If so, then it's known, I guess.
So.
Really?
I've never.
I bet they do. You just don't know it.
It's possible. I don't really go to the subreddit that often.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's no real reason to.
I mean, yeah, not anymore. Yeah, that's something we were talking about the other day, and people don't seem to grasp that the subreddit is dead because no one uses Reddit anymore for this type of stuff. Like, Reddit's still highly used for other things, but for like content creators, it makes a lot more sense, especially those of us that use Twitch and all that other stuff. It makes a lot more sense to talk to us either on Twitch or in our Discords and stuff like that.
You should bring back the IRC.
There wasn't? What? Was there an IRC?
Bring back the
no,
IRC.
I heard your words, but I don't know when the fuck did we ever have an IRC?
Dude, that was like one of the first things that you had when I think on the server was just like me and Nebris and whoever else was.
Really?
That very first run. Yeah, because I remember being out. God, this is so weird that I would remember this so well for whatever reason. I was out in Kansas City for a trip for work, and it was like the first time that I got to jump into the IRC. And yeah, you had a whole channel set up where you could talk to like the fans could come talk to any of the people on the Mindcrack server at the time, which was, extremely small, back then.
Yeah.
And I just realized I had a whole other stack of torches, and I just spent a long time realizing that I couldn't even make a furnace to burn this coal because of the fact that I have a silk touch pick.
Oh, yeah.
I got it, and I realized I have a whole different stack of torches that I need to waste all that time to do to do this, but whatever. But yeah, I remember being out in Kansas City and having nothing to do because who fucking knew that Kansas City, the whole place shut down at like 6 p.m. And they told us that because I was there for a Cerner thing. It was when we were getting ready to implement Cerner, and the people at Cerner, when they took us back to the hotel, because we had all these buses that took us back, they were like, make sure you go get food right away because everything closes down. And I'm like, we're in the like downtown Kansas City, like there's no way. And the mall that was across the street from our hotel, it closed down at 6 o'clock. Like everything just closed at 6 o'clock except for the bars that were in like the power and light district.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it was very weird. But I remember, so I didn't have anything else to do, so I sat in my hotel room. And I got on the IRC for the first time, and I started having chats with like people who were, big fans of Mindcrack and all. I think it was one of the first times I had talked to you in like not an in-depth chat, but like a chat with a bunch of other people in a group.
Boy, I have no memory of this at all.
You don't remember setting up an IRC for it?
I mean, I used to be really big into IRC. I used to moderate IRC channels and stuff when I was younger.
Younger?
I mean, yeah, like when I was like 13, 14. No, wait. 16. Yeah, 16. About 16. I'd spent a lot of hours in writing. That's where I basically learned my first bit of programming was how to make IRC scripts to like run, to like manage as a moderator, how to like auto mod basically for certain things without me having to actually do it. Are you near bed now? Probably not. You're in the cave, right?
No, I actually have one on me.
Oh, okay. I don't really need to sleep. I'm just getting the phantom stuff cleared, but I'm in a bed if you want to. So yeah, I used to spend a lot of time. I wrote my own little script to run like my own IRC client basically, and I was one of the top moderators of the biggest Magic the Gathering chat room at the time. So yeah, I used to do a lot of IRC a long time ago.
I'm surprised. Oh god, there's a witch. There's a witch.
Oh my god, there's a witch.
Oh, the last hit I put on her, she
poisoned you.
Pulled out the poison.
Gotcha. You're surprised I used IRC or what?
No. I'm surprised you don't remember the IRC.
Was it built into the website? Maybe.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm having like a vague memory of this right now.
Otherwise, I don't think I would have gotten onto it very easily. I mean, I'd used IRC. I'm trying to remember what I used IRC before because, like, I was familiar with IRC.
Right.
I don't remember why I'd ever used it though, because I can't think of anything I've done in the past that would have necessitated the use of.
Right.
I was never really big into like those MMORPGs or anything like that. So I don't have any idea what I was actually.
I mean, IRC. I remember. God, I guess I was younger than 16 even because I probably was like 15, maybe even as young as 14. I don't know, like dial-up internet. Whenever we got our first dial-up internet, learned about IRC, and I learned that's where you get your porn. All those all those like porn IRC channels where you could go in and you get credits for uploading pictures, and then you use those credits to download other pictures, like a 1-to-3 ratio. Like you upload one byte, you get 3 bytes downloaded. It's that sort of thing. You remember that?
Not an IRC per se, but I did subscribe to a couple news groups that
Same
were
sort of
the
thing,
same
right?
way. Yeah, they actually, you know what? Maybe it was through news groups, because maybe the news groups did run through IRC on the back end.
Hmm.
So maybe that is why I remember what those were.
Huh.
I remember I used to like at my college because back before they actually like blocked content and filters and all that stuff that you can do now. I think I remember I would download some stuff and then just let my computer sit there when I was in class to like be the upload seater, so I could gain all the credits, because it didn't matter to me. It wasn't my internet, it wasn't taking up my bandwidth.
Right.
I'm sure the people in my dorm were like, "Why is the internet so bad today?"
Yeah. Jeff's at it. I remember I was sitting there in my room one time and just going to town, downloading all kinds of porn. And my mom walks in, and I think, it's IRC. It's a bunch of fucking text on the screen. She ain't gonna know what the fuck she sees. So I didn't even worry about it. I just kept on at it, downloading my porn. And she's walking around the room doing something, cleaning stuff, and she's like kind of standing over me. And I guess she stayed over me reading my screen, because then she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" She's like, she realized what it was. See, I got caught downloading that porn for sure.
So I remember, what grade was I in? It's got to be 8th or slightly before, and my buddy had just gotten like internet, and my parents at the time didn't have we didn't have like a dial-up or AOL or anything like that you could like use regularly. It was internet at the school was basically my normal internet at the time, and he had gotten it, and he was like, he thought he was going to be all king shit and like everybody going to be all excited about him. So he started going to porn sites and actually printing out pictures of like porn stars and things like that. So he'd pull out his bag and be like, "Hey, check this out." And he had a color printer and everything, which was a big thing for back then. Color printers weren't just for printing like random things, because that shit was expensive.
Right.
And you'd have like 5 or 6 copies of like the same like super hot porn star, and everybody's like, "Oh, I remember getting one of those." And I never masturbated to it or anything, but I remember thinking like, God, this was amazing. Like the times we live in when I can just get this for free, and, hiding it in my backpack so my parents wouldn't ever find it, because, that was going to be the worst thing, but I couldn't throw it away. I had to keep that shit forever.
Right.
One day I remember realizing it was in my backpack, and, like, I got to get rid of this before my parents find it. And like, I think I like burned it in the backyard thinking it was going to come back and bite me in the ass somehow. That I had this
fantastic.
One printed out picture of a porn star, but I never downloaded. I don't think I ever downloaded. Well, I downloaded in the traditional sense porn. We would have the back when you could share your computer pretty easily at the school. Everybody was on the same network, and you could just make yourself visible, so everybody made their own like file shares and things like that.
Right.
And I remember one guy there was like hosted porn on his file share, and I think I downloaded a couple pictures or a couple of videos from this guy's thing. But back then, like the porn that you downloaded was only because the connections were so bad. It was only like the 5-second clip of
yeah, no, I totally remember jerking off to like, you got like 20 seconds, you got like a good long video.
Right. But I never really saw the desire of like going to a place and downloading the porn from somewhere, because I think the anticipation after I downloaded it, it's like over. Like,
well, I remember writing my own. Like by the time I was like
writing your own porn script.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wrote my own user share software. Like I mean, there's probably tons of available. I don't know why. I mean, I was on this programming kick with IRC. Like IRC, like everything about it, I was just like that's all I did in it was program these scripts and stuff to run IRC bots and just different things. And so I wrote my own file sharing thing where you upload this amount and you get this amount and all this. It was all part of my script called the chicken script.
Oh yeah, the chicken script. That's why it's your spirit animal. the chicken script.
Yeah, like my friend at the time, Mad Cow, you remember him? He had come up with this storyline about this Apocalypse Chicken, and like for some reason I was just enthralled by this story. Like it just sucked me in, and like it was the coolest thing ever. And so like I basically started making memes about this Apocalypse Chicken, and then I had this Apocalypse Chicken script that was my IRC script. It wasn't even spelled right. It was APKALYPSE, and it was like every other letter was like capital. So it was like capital A, lowercase p, capital K.
I hate the whole lowercase capital thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, I don't know why any of this was a thing. But I even had like a built-in Trojan, a version with a built-in Trojan that I would share with people and be like, oh yeah, you want chicken script? And like people I didn't like, here you go, buddy, and I'd give it to them, and then like I could like access their files and their computer and shit, because it would run when you started IRC. But yeah, no, so I would just leave it, even though I was on dial-up, I'd just leave it running all day. I'd go off to work or whatever, and people would be uploading and downloading porn off my computer all day long. And so I'd come home, and even though, again, it was on dial-up, it was super fucking slow, I'd come home and have thousands and thousands of new things. So I'd just sit there and organize my porn.
It was more of a fetish of organization.
Yeah, no, like a lot of times I would be like, oh, this is awful. This is the worst porn.
All my porn was so organized, but I never watched a single video.
Right. But this was like also my first introduction to like illegal porn too. So like I ended up shutting it all down about the same time I got the job at the ISP that I was using, because I started realizing like, wow, there's a lot of child porn and just other fucked up shit that's getting uploaded and downloaded here. And then sometime after that, I was the one that was put in charge of the BBC servers there at the ISP, and I basically was spend my days going through the porn there to regulate child porn, and like ban people and shit like that, file reports, that sort of thing. So I unfortunately did spend many hours on the clock, like having to look at some fucked up shit, basically.
I'm sure that kind of ruined a lot of the real enjoyment of porn for you.
Well, yeah, no, it was pretty fucked up. Like, and the fucked up thing, well, I think I've talked about this before, but the fucked up thing is like it was the most prevalent on Sundays. Sunday after church, that's when you got to go in there and really regulate all the child porn, because that's when that's the number one time for those BBC servers for us was right after church on Sunday. It got fucking wild, and like it was time to go in there and be a moderator, basically.
You think it was like all the priests who were like, finally the work week is done, my weekend has come?
I have no idea. I feel like it's people, they go absolve themselves from other sins. They're like, I'm clean now, I can do some fucked up shit again. I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, I feel like most of that has been regulated by bots, and like I think there's shit like that even built into Windows now to identify hashes and stuff for the files and stuff, I think, right?
I have no idea. I mean, can you really know it's child porn from a hash unless it's a known
Well, that's the
video?
thing. There's so many people that have also had to spend their time basically identifying this shit, that like the popular ones I do believe are like that, where this is a known file, like this is the hash for this particular series, or the images from the most popular images, that sort of thing. That I think that it's like actually like that, where they're like the most popular shit. And I think that like the FBI probably runs servers kind of like these IRC servers and stuff we're talking about, where they're like basically honeypots set up to where you can download this stuff, but we're getting your IP, we're now tracking you and shit like that. I think. I assume. I also assumed back in the day that the Pentagon had rockets on it in case of an attack, but I was wrong about that as well. So maybe not.
I mean, it's such a weird. I remember talking. This was relatively recently. Our CTO, the chief technology officer at my company, was trying to talk to us about the future of like online security and all, because of course that's what his job is, and keeps him in a job and he can sound smart about it. And what he started saying was, antivirus software is changing, and it's going to be adaptive in the future. So it's not going to be based on just known like hash types of known viruses. And I think because I haven't studied this like field in such a long time, and everybody in the room, because the way he's saying it, they're like, "Oh, that sounds great," and I was like in my mind like, that's not how like antivirus works right now. Antivirus only works off of like known viruses. I thought that it was like, I thought it was somewhat adaptive and smart to see like contents and what something is trying to do, as opposed to.
No, I don't think so. I think it's
it turns out that it's really not there yet. The next waves of it are trying to get there, but they're apparently not. They're not very good at it. But I assume that there was some type of algorithm that tried, but apparently it's just not that way. It's just it's got to be known to be known.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that to some degree makes sense. It's kind of
it makes sense for what it is, but then it really makes you think of the antivirus companies in a slightly different way. Because I'm like, really, what you did was you made an Excel database
basically
of things and sold a product that looks at your Excel database based on every file that you download. Like that's what essentially just happened, and then I feel like a little like why are you so expensive when that's all you are?
Yeah, that's true. Especially when a lot of this stuff's built into Windows now too, right? Like I have not ran an antivirus software on my computer in so long.
I never ran them in the past. Back in the days of like Windows 98, I would just reinstall my computer about every 3 months because it was the antivirus software bogged your computer down so bad that it was easier for me to not run it. And I had like the exact steps I needed to take to reinstall all my, the operating system, all the programs I need, all the drivers, and then I just put my games back on there. It was not a big deal. So much harder to do that nowadays.
Right. I remember that's why I ran my antivirus software. It's because my computer was basically a file server for a very long time, and people could upload, whatever the fuck they want. And so it was pretty much essential to run antivirus software because people would constantly upload viruses. And I remember even programming that into my script, like when it was triggered, like by the antivirus software to ban this person permanently and that sort of thing, so that they couldn't continue uploading viruses. And so yeah, I remember doing stuff like that. Just ran all the way down here and didn't bring any fucking redstone.
That's why you should bring back the IRC.
Boy, yeah, I don't even know how we got on this. I mean, I know it was about the Mindcrack IRC, but yeah, I still don't really remember that. And I guess IRC is something that's so foreign to a lot of people. A lot of people probably don't realize that Twitch chat uses IRC services, so you can join any Twitch chat through IRC.
I also had no idea that was the case.
Yeah. Like I think that's how Co always has his chat open. I think he's just connected through IRC. I don't use that functionality.
Does it give you as a streamer like any more benefits to any like extra commands or anything? Or is
no? In fact, it's more limited, right? Because you don't have like the emotes and stuff. I mean, you can see the text that's being displayed as the emote, and there's probably IRC scripts that pull that shit in from somewhere. So I guess it's probably possible that it's set up where you can see the emotes. But by default, if you just joined, you would not see emotes or anything like that. You would just see the text like "good," giggle or whatever is what it would show for like my giggle emote. I think that the people, like for instance in my community, that have the highest knacks, which are the currency you receive for being present when I stream, are all the people that are just idle in IRC all the time. Like there's like the top 10 are literally all IRC idlers because they're there. Like if you look at their view time, because all it does is base it on if they're in chat or not. And if you look at their view time, it's like basically 99.9% of the times I stream, they're there according to that, because of the fact they're there because they're in IRC. So
interesting. So you could just become the Super Nax.
The super what?
Super Nax.
Oh, so yeah, but yeah, basically, yeah.
They're called
the
Nax,
yeah. But I mean, they don't really do anything for you. I only use them a couple times a year, like during Halloween, to play scary noises and stuff like that. So that currency's really, it doesn't do you any good to hoard it, I guess. So
there are so many mobs outside right now.
Nothing over here. Oh, I guess it's all lit up though over here. So yeah, you're getting all the mobs.
Woo! I have to just fly away. Where is what's the coordinates to where we're at?
We are at 413 -1000.
413 -1000.
So it's 400 -1000 to get you here. But we should probably also end this episode.
Positive 413?
Yeah. Positive 400, -1000.
All right. All right, we get in this episode.
All right. See you guys next time.
See ya.